Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Tammy Silver. I'm the Associate Director for International Student Services at Services for International Students and Scholars, or SISS. And we want to welcome you to this webinar. I wanted to let you all know how the webinar is going to work. Each of the panelists will give a brief presentation, and then we're going to move to some Q&A. There'll be 3 sections of the Q&A. The first section will be some starter questions that we have. Then there'll be some questions that were pre-submitted, and then we'll have some open Q&A. But if you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to enter them in the Q&A function in the Zoom webinar. And so with that, I am going to pass it to my colleague, Sharon Erickson. And Sharon, everyone's going to do a brief introduction of themselves. So Sharon, would you just give your name and position and department?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon Erickson. I am an International Student Advisor, Tier 2 at Services for International Students and Scholars. I'll pass it off to Janice.
Everyone, my name is Janice C. I'm an Intercultural Programs Coordinator with Global Affairs. I'll pass it over to John.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Clift. I'm an International Academic Advisor here in the Dean's Office in the College of Letters and Science. And should I ping pong it to somebody, I guess? Let's see. I'll ping pong it to Kate.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Bosdeck. I'm also an International Academic Advisor. Just like John, we work together in the Dean's Office in the College of Letters and Science. I'll get to Amandeep.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amandeep Kaur. I am an Academic Advisor from College of Biological Sciences. And I will pass it to Heather.
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Sturman, and I'm a writing specialist at the Academic Assistance and Tutoring Centers.
Thank you, everyone. So we're going to start off with Sharon.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about SISS, Services for International Students and Scholars. We are a part of Global Affairs. And if you could go to the next slide. There we go. So that what SIS's mission is to help students with their arrival into the US. We give them their documents and we help them through the visa process. Yeah, you can go to the next one. We help them, the one before. There we go. We welcome the international students through our various online orientations and also in-person orientation activities and events. We assist students and educate them about their visa status and benefits throughout their entire time with us. We support students in crisis. So when they're going through a tough time, that we're another place they can come to on campus to receive support and receive referrals to other places that can help them on campus and to help coordinate their care. And we also perform the mandatory record keeping and reporting for the Department of Homeland Security. So we don't work for Department of Homeland Security, but we are really closely connected because we have the responsibility to help students understand how to maintain their status while inside the US. Next slide, please. All right, so here's the SISS student team. We have way over on the right, I'm going to first just talk about our interim director, Simona Kultz, and then Tammy Silver here today is our associate director. And then over to the left, we've got 2 tiers of advisors that advise the students. And our tier 1 advisors help students by category. So there's specific topics that they are helping students with: visa issues, how to get a driver's license, how to get a social security number if they're going to work on campus or eventually off campus, helping with travel, getting a travel signature if they're going to travel during a school break. So that's tier 1. And then tier 2 advisors have caseloads of students that we are assigned to by the last letter of their, or the first letter of their family name, so their last name. So for example, I would advise students with last names beginning with B, V, or Z. And so we have six of those advisors that will advise the students on all kinds of issues, everything from work authorization, off-campus work authorization, as well as enrollment and how many units they need to stay enrolled in, or if they ever need to go below the minimum units, what actions they need to take. And we work really closely as well with the academic advisors if there's ever a question of something relating to their enrollment that could jeopardize their status. So we are in communication with the international academic advisors and major advisors as well. And that's just a few of the issues that we help students with, but that just gives you an idea of how students have a primary advisor to go to by alpha, but they also, for specific categories, have a tier 1 advisor. So the way to contact an advisor is, we can go to the next page, to go to the SISS people page, and we have that listed out there, the siss.ucdavis.edu/people. And then all of the advisors are listed there, and a student can see either the categories that an advisor, like for Benicia, for example, here on this, she advises by category, and then they can also see all the tier 2 advisors and which part of the alphabet they're advising. And so that's how they find out how to reach their advisor, and it contains their name, their email address, and then their access to the advisor's calendar. And advisors are available to meet with students both virtually and in person. So whether they're in the country or out of the country, we can meet with the student in whichever way they prefer. All right, next slide. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about how parents can support your students with their adjustment to the university, their success, and also their immigration status. So the first thing is just early intervention is key to preventing problems. Most students are going to have, everything go great, but there could be little minor bumps in the road. And when anything is happening, the sooner the student can reach out and get help, the better. This university has resources for anything a student could possibly need. We're very well equipped with helping students get over any little problem that a university student would have. So check in with your student, ask them how things are going, check in, regularly, and more than just asking how things are going, what's going well and what things are challenging, so that any potential problem areas could be identified early, and you can also help encourage the student to seek out the resources on the campus that are there for them. Support and empower your student to take charge of their education. Students are at a great time in their lives when they're learning to take responsibility for more things. That also means they have more things to know and be responsible for, such as the federal regulations. So that's what SISS is for. We can help them with that. But ultimately, it's their decision on their responsibility to maintain their status. And then outreach and communication, just encouraging students to reach out to their advisor and to read their emails. It's really important. They're going to get flooded with emails, but they are really important. They will get very important messages from different parts of the university. So it is important they keep up with that. And then, parental support. So parents and guardians providing support for students' decisions is really, really important. Students might change a major. They might not stay in the major they started out with. So if having parent support really can increase the student's success. If a leave of absence is needed, if parents can support that as well, and until the student can do what they need to do till they're ready to get back to it, that can make a big difference in a student's life. Okay, I'm going to pass it off to Heather.
Right, thank you very much. So I'm Heather. Nice to see all of you. and I wanted to talk a little bit with you today about tutoring services, because we provide a very important, I think, service on this campus to all undergrads that we encourage you to encourage your students to take advantage of. So I wanted to start off by reading to you our mission, so you get a sense of who we are as a department. So we exist to help undergraduate students thrive at UC Davis and beyond. We provide an inclusive and interactive environment where students participate in reinforcing and retaining knowledge in multidisciplinary writing, math, and science through co-curricular academic services provided by both professional staff and peer tutors. We strive to support students in developing the academic competence and confidence that will empower them to succeed at UC Davis. So what that means is our philosophy is we're basically here to help students learn. Our goal is to help students graduate and or do whatever they need to do, to be successful in their academics. And we provide more of a holistic academic support. We're very practiced at referring students out to other resources. If we can't help them, we can help them get connected to where they need to be. We also provide a non-judgmental environment. So that means we're not here to grade them. We're not here to judge them. We're here to support them and answer their questions and help them. And we also are here to help facilitate the learning process. So we're here to not just give them the answers and do the work for them, but we talk them through the questions they have. We talk them through how to solve math problems. We talk them through how to write essays, and we answer their questions and those sorts of things. And in that way, we try to encourage independence in students, because that's one of our ultimate goals is to help students become independent learners. All of our services are prepaid by student fees, so we're here at no additional cost. So one of the things we like to say is if students don't use our services, they're wasting either their money or somebody else's money, because they're paying for us. And this picture on the slide here is of Dutton Hall, where our main office is, but we do have locations all over campus. So we also like to meet students where they are. Next slide, please. Okay, so this slide kind of talks through the types of services we have. We offer a lot of different choices for students to access our support in a variety of subjects. So we have synchronous, that's real-time help, and we have asynchronous help if they can't meet with us but still want to get assistance in a variety of subjects. So for example, writing, that's my field, for any course, doesn't matter. And we help with scholarships and preparation for graduate school too. Math, statistics, chemistry, physics, engineering, economics, biology, and a whole lot more. We serve students in virtually any major, and we serve about 30% of all UC Davis undergraduates. We do ask students to fill out surveys, anonymous surveys after they use our services, and we found that over 90% feel that they are more confident after using our services. So we like to tell, excuse me, we like to tell folks that, tutoring is a place to ask for help. Even if you don't know what you need help with, or you don't know how to ask for help, that's okay. We can help students figure that out in the moment. Tutoring is for students who get A's, students who are struggling, and everyone, right? We help all kinds of students at all levels. And we also work with all stages of the learning process, so if somebody went to a math lecture and they didn't understand the concepts, they can come and get help. Or if they just need help editing an essay for grammar, we can help with that, any stage. So if students come and see us, the synchronous help is they can meet with a specialist or a tutor to get help on assignments and prepare for exams and work on practice, that sort of thing. So specialists are staff like myself, and we all have advanced degrees and classroom teaching experience in our fields. Our tutors are undergraduates, so they're peer tutors who have undergone extensive testing, interviewing, and training, so they're still highly qualified to help. They've often taken the same class that they're tutoring in, so they're like uniquely qualified to help tutor in that way. We also have drop-in. So if students can't make an appointment or can't get on our calendars, that's fine. We have drop-in services in all of these subjects, all across campus, various locations. So no appointment is needed. So they can just drop in and ask their questions. That's available. We also offer asynchronous support. So that means if they can't come in and see us, or say they want help, looking at math materials at 3 in the morning or something, which we don't recommend, but we understand it happens. We have an essay submission feedback service where students can submit their essay and we will take a look at it and email them feedback, so they don't have to meet with us. We also have extensive video catalog in math, chemistry that our specialists have made that can be viewed at any time. And we also have on our website what we call the Aggie Grammar Guide, which is a textbook of sorts freely available for a variety of grammar and style subjects that students can review and do practice activities. All right, next slide. So this is my last slide, and this is how you learn more about us. So we have our website, tutoring.ucdavis.edu. All of this information and more is there. The site is basically organized by subjects. So if you go there, you can click on whatever subject you or your student is interested in learning more about. We have, like it says here, a few different kinds of ways to access our services. Appointments are typically 50 minutes over Zoom or in person. We have the video catalog that I mentioned for math and chemistry. We also offer workshops and co-classes. So those are like group sessions where students can either drop in or enroll to get additional help in a variety of subjects. And then the Aggie Grammar Guide as well is also accessible on our website. And I also wanted to mention our front desk. As I said, we're located in Dutton Hall. We're on the second floor, 2205. I didn't put our hours and phone number because it might change for fall. So I encourage you to check our website to learn more about what we do and who we are. So thank you. That's it for me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kate. Again, I'm one of the advisors within College of Letters and Science. And we're going to go over academic advising and kind of what that looks like at UC Davis. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so there's a lot of different resources on campus, a lot of different places where your student is going to go. In terms of academic advising, there are also multiple kind of departments or people on campus that your student's going to meet with. So this is just to give you kind of an overview of what those different areas are. So your student's there in the middle, and then on top is the college advising. So each college has college advisors like within the dean's office who will work with your student on the college and university requirements and like their academic standing. So if they're having issues with their grades or anything like that, they would come to us. They also will have a major advisor. I know that looks a little bit different for Amandeep, so I think she'll jump in a minute, but for the majority of the majors, they'll have a specific major advisor, so a department advisor who will help the student with requirements specific to their major. Also help with like internships or getting academic credit, like research, things like that. On the bottom, you'll see some peer advisors. So peer advisors are students within that department who are really helpful. They can give a good student perspective on classes or instructors or different opportunities that are available. They have been through these classes, so they have a really kind of unique view that the academic kind of staff advisors may not have. And then faculty advisors. So students can meet with their faculty as well if they want to get more involved in research, find out a little bit more about maybe what their faculty is doing, talk to them about recommendation letters, things like that. The one kind of bubble that you don't see is friends. Sometimes friends will try and give academic advice, and friends are very important, obviously, for students as they're going through college as a support system, but they're definitely not an academic resource. So we definitely ask students to meet with an academic advisor if they have any questions about their degree requirements or their classes. And I should say that we are all here to get a student to graduation, right? So we're working with them so that they understand their degree requirements from when they start, so when they matriculate, all the way through to when they graduate. And did you want to jump in, Amandeep?
Yeah, for College of Biological Sciences, college advisor and major advisor is just a one person, which is me. So it's really good for students because they don't have to go to two people. They don't have to make 2 appointments. All they have to do is just come to me and I'll take care of both, all of that.
All right, I think we can go to the next slide. Are you doing this one, Amandeep, or did you want me to go?
Yeah, yes, I am doing that one. So hi, everyone. My name is Amandeep. I'm from College of Biological Sciences. So what do academic advisors do? We provide information so students can make informed decisions that incorporates their personal academic and career goals. So we're here to support them and get them through the 4 years and get them graduate. We also provide support and connect students to additional resources. So for example, if we see a student who are struggling, we will connect them with tutoring center. If we see a student who is feeling stressed or, they're burned out or they share that they're feeling anxious, we have a built-in counselor that we can connect them with. We also recommend students to meet with us on a regular basis, especially if they're thinking about changing their major when it comes to academic advising, such as like what classes to take in the future. And overall, just if they're going through any kind of a change, for example, if they failed a class or if they want to repeat the class, what steps they need to take. It's always a good idea to meet with the advisor.
Okay, so here are some examples listed of how advisors support students, and you can see, on the different columns, college advisor, major advisor, peer advisor, faculty advisor. It can feel a little bit overwhelming for students because UC Davis is a really big institution. They don't always know kind of where to go when they need help. So we do say, if they don't know where to go, always start with their college advisor. And we can always help students get to where they need to be if it's not a question that we can answer. But if a lot of these are actually going to meet with both anyway, college advising and their major advisor. But if they don't do well on a test, if they fail a class, if they want to drop a class or make changes to their schedule, they're definitely going to meet with their college advisor. Also, if they're looking to change majors, we're all very involved in that process as well. The major advisor can also help about getting involved with research, finding an internship, getting academic credit for that. Joining clubs, that was something I didn't mention before. So study groups and clubs, those are really another good way for students to get involved and to kind of enhance their academic experience. So the major advisor is a good place to go for that. And if they're interested, so not all students know what major they want to pursue, or maybe they want to change their major partway through. That's fairly common. And we would have them see the major that they're interested in. So talk to that major advisor and get more information. They can see a peer advisor, just like I said before, to get the kind of student perspective. So changing majors, joining a club or a study group, something like that. And then a faculty advisor, that would definitely be getting involved with research or an internship. We would ask students to see their instructors during office hours, if they're finding themselves not doing well in a class or not doing well on a test, or if they wanted to get involved in research as well. So lots of different places for students to go. We do also, I wanted to mention, we have in-person and virtual appointments for students, and we're available 5 days a week, so Monday through Friday. And students never have to wait if they need to speak to an advisor. So if something urgent comes up or they feel it's urgent, we are always available. So we have multiple ways for them to reach out to us. I think that's it for now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janice. So I'll be going over a few other additional resources for students, including a couple ways to get further involved on campus. Go to the next slide, please. So we have the Global Ambassador Mentorship Program. This is a program that is designed to help new first-year and transfer international undergraduate students successfully adjust to life at UC Davis. This program pairs new international students with current undergraduate student mentors, and we pair them based on similar academic and social interests. For example, we pair students up perhaps based on similar major or the same major, or on hobbies. shared hobbies. And the mentors are both international and domestic students who have taken like a whole training course before they start mentoring students. So the program also helps new students make friends in the US. They can ask questions about student life at UC Davis, and then they can learn more about resources and fun events on campus. And students can apply now to receive a peer mentor, and they can become part of a program with lots of fun, engaging events throughout the year. This is a great way for new incoming students to get connected with a current UC Davis student even before they come to campus in September. And that's the QR code that you can scan if you want to learn more about the program. And the applications for mentees are open now. Next slide, please. So the Global Learning Hub is also a resource on campus for all students, and that includes international students. It's also a physical location on campus. It's located in the International Center, which is also the same building where Services for International Students and Scholars is located as well. The Global Learning Hub offers global learning programs, workshops, and resources that enhance all UC Davis students' academic and career pursuits. And below are just a few examples of opportunities that students can engage with. This includes participating in a study abroad program while making progress towards their degree so they can gain UC Davis credit while they're abroad. There are first-year Aggie seminars. These are specific seminar classes. They're a much smaller size in terms of student enrollment. So each seminar will have less than 30 students typically. So it's a much smaller class size, and there's like lots of different topics that students can choose from. There are in-person or virtual internships that allow students to work with employers across the globe, and they can also work on global projects right here in California. So this includes, participating in research or participating in some kind of community work. In California, in Sacramento, in Davis, there's a lot of diversity in this area and lots of opportunities available on and off campus for students to access. And you can also scan that QR code to learn more about the Global Learning Hub and the opportunities available. Next slide. And here are just a list of resources. So we have, the general email and the website for each of the colleges. Also for SISS, for the Global Learning Hub, and for academic assistant and tutoring centers. And as a reminder, this webinar is being recorded, so the recording will be uploaded so that attendees and others can access it as a future resource. Next slide. So these are a few other resources. If you have questions about student accounting or finances, if you have questions about student health and wellness, and that includes health insurance questions as well, UC SHIP, and then also the campus orientation parent and family resources webpage. This recording will be accessible from that website as well. And that wraps up my part.
Hi, so now we're going to go on to the Q&A. I think we can turn off the PowerPoint and just have the tile screen. That's great, thanks. So we're going to start off with three general questions. I'll read the question and I'll call on an advisor for the answer. So Amandeep, this first one is for you. What kinds of challenges do new students face based on your experience and your role?
So I would say the first few challenges that students face is not being able to ask for help. I think that's really important. Just for the first year, having that knowledge, how to access the advisor, the faculty, learning how to communicate. I know it's a new environment. Just getting acclimated to new life is a huge step. So not doubling up on 2 STEM classes, right? Just taking balanced schedule is a huge one. And if the student is struggling, make sure that they are going to tutoring and open hours for faculty.
Great, thank you, Amandeep. The next question is for Heather. What resources are available to students to help mitigate these challenges?
Yeah, thank you. There are an overwhelming amount of resources on this campus, and it can be very intimidating sometimes for students to know where to go to ask for help, especially if they're struggling, as what Amandeep said, if there's barriers put up. But I just wanted to mention a few, in addition to the ones that have already been mentioned. Of course, my department is here to help, and we hope that we're providing a very friendly, open service that anybody can come and talk to us about their academic questions, rather, regarding their classes, how to do well in their classes is what I mean. So we can be there. Another good one is Office of Educational Opportunity and Enrichment Services. So they're a department that has a lot of different kinds of programs and that may also help your child or your student rather adjust. Including first year Aggie Connections. I know Janice mentioned the seminars. There's another similar program called First Year Aggie Connections that's not really a class, it's more like a cohort that your student can join based on common interests. So that could be a great way to make friends and find some other people to connect with who are also in a similar position as your student. They also have success coaching. So your student can make an appointment with a success coach if they're having trouble being successful, whatever that means to them. And so they can also take learning strategies workshops through this department, which can be really helpful. So how do you manage your time? How do you take notes effectively? How do you use office hours? Things like that can be great for any student to take advantage of. Another one I wanted to mention is Aggie Compass Basic Needs Center. So that's really important if your student is having housing insecurity, food insecurity, mental health, those sorts of things can be difficult to deal with. And so Aggie Compass Basic Needs is a place that can help with all those sorts of things, including there's a food pantry that can be really helpful to students who need access to food. We also have a fantastic library. So a lot of students come here, they don't know how to do research, which is totally normal, no matter where they're coming from, whether domestic or international. And so our library has some amazing librarians who are willing to support and help and guide your student in writing those research papers and conducting that research. And then the last one I want to mention is we have this big building in the center of campus called the Student Community Center. Again, another place with a lot of resources within the building. That's a great place for a lot of like all kinds of support. There's the LGBTQ Center in there, Cross-Cultural Center, Women's Resources Center is associated with that. There's also computer labs. So if your student doesn't have access to a computer, their computer breaks or something and they need to do work, they can go to the computer labs in the Student Community Center. Anyway, that's just a taste. There are a lot of resources out there for students.
Thank you, Heather. And the last question from this segment is going to go to Sharon. What can family members at a distance do to support their student?
Yeah, I alluded to some of this earlier when I was speaking about SISS, but I think just really connecting with your student and checking in on the different components. How are they doing academically? What's going well? What are they struggling in? And then asking them if they know where to go to get support for anything they might be struggling in. How's the workload with reading in a language that isn't their native language potentially. And then again, encouraging the help-seeking behavior, checking in with them on social connections, because for brand new students, that's often the very first number one thing for them. Who am I going to eat lunch with? And helping them ease that social anxiety, because once they have a peer network, they can rely on that peer network for mutual support, emotional and social support. So checking in with them on that. And then, as they ease through, there's so much growth. There's a tremendous amount of growth for a brand new student in those first few months and throughout the first year. So whether they're a transfer or a brand new first year student. And so just staying in touch with them, communicating and supporting and empathizing with the things that are challenging, but then celebrating their successes, even if maybe a grade wasn't what they had hoped, celebrating the successes of overcoming the barriers of coming to, a new country to study. And there will be many successes that they'll have. So just remembering to balance out both and to encourage them to visit all of their advisors for support.
Thank you, Sharon. So now we've got 3 pre-submitted questions. So Amandeep, I'm going to turn to you for the first one. And this is, how can life science majors transition to neuroscience majors at the later stage of their studies?
Yeah, so for students who are going into College of Biological Sciences, and if, so for example, if a student is majoring in biology and they want to change their major into MPB, which is neurobiology, physiology, behavior major, the first 2 years in our college are the same. Even like the third year, the beginning of the third year is very similar. And once they know what major they want to go into, there's a petition that they need to apply, and the requirements for that petition is just having your GPA is 2 point and taking in-depth classes, which they do regardless if they are going into MPB or biology, because they're at the beginning, they're taking very similar classes regardless what major they're going into.
Thank you. And the next one is, how can I help my child sail through the transition to the new environment and culture?
Yes, this is a great question. I think Sharon covered most of it. So I think I'll just echo what she said and be in touch with your student. I'll share that, I moved away from home a long time ago, but I still have weekly phone calls with my parents, even as a professional, and it's very, very helpful to have their support, even though I'm well out of college. So I think that's probably one of the best things that I can recommend is just set up a regular time to communicate in whatever way works for you. And then maybe encourage them to ask for help, encourage them to practice asking for help, maybe with you. That could be a big one. If your student shares that they're struggling, maybe you want to say, well, where do you think you can go? Let's research that together. Let's Google it together, or look online and find a place for you to go and get help. Why don't we write down some questions together that you can ask that advisor or tutor or your professor or whoever. Helping them practice that might make it a little less scary for them to ask for help. So that's what I'd add.
Okay, great. Thank you. The last question was just more information on healthcare services. We did have the link to the website in the presentation, which you'll have access to through the recording. But I also just put the link in the chat as well. So if anyone wants to just take a look at that now, there's a lot of resources for healthcare, and there's a lot of different questions about healthcare and health insurance and wellness. So I would encourage you to spend some time on that website and to just gather as much information as possible, and also to share that with your student, and encourage them to seek the services, the health services and the counseling services, if they get into a situation where they're feeling a lot of stress or insecurity, if they're having a hard time managing, we have a lot of the time management, like Heather had mentioned earlier, but sometimes talking to somebody about how they're feeling inside It's not something that's a common thing or an easy thing for anyone to do. But we do have professionals on campus who are available and eager to help all students. And so I would ask that you keep an open mind and encourage your student to seek those kinds of services if needed as well. There is one question now in the Q&A. Let me take a look at that. There was one that I had answered already. Oh, Sharon's typing an answer.
Anyone else can add to that answer as well if you have other information.
Okay, so I think that maybe we can stop recording now.